This is a video for Industrial Engineering 190G at UC Berkeley, and today I'm going to be discussing why Google's purchase of Motorola could be disastrous and how it relates to the smartphone patent war. Now, Google hardware, you've never heard of it, right? It's because it hasn't existed up to this point. There is no precedent for Google actually dealing in hardware. They've been strictly software up to this point. Now, we all know that Google specializes in things like search engines, maps, Gmail, instant messengers, and that's really been where their focus is at. Now, what's interesting is that Google has had a lot of flops, half-finished products. Now, you might remember Google Buzz, Google Plus, supposed to be like the Facebook, didn't really work out very well. I guess the jury's still out on that one. Oh, and Google Wave. That one was supposed to revolutionize communication and really didn't happen. So Google is very experimental. And this is interesting because Google has never actually successfully sold any products to consumers. So with this purchase with Motorola, what can they actually do with the patents that they are going to be getting? 17,000 in total, pending and current. Well, some of these are obviously going to be software related, which we know they know how to handle. But in terms of hardware, they really have two options. One is they can continue Motorola's manufacturing with smartphones as it is right now, or they can essentially patent troll for royalties like Microsoft has done. So let's first discuss what they can do with manufacturing. Now, one originally has to ask, was this really a good financial decision? Now, we have to give Google some credit because thus far, whenever they've acquired a company, it has paid off, like YouTube, Picasa. But as we mentioned before, Google hasn't done this with any hardware manufacturer before. Now, they don't really have a lot of human capital that's directly compatible with this purchase. It's a whole different ballgame than what they're used to right now. And in order to succeed, it's going to take a lot of work and a smart strategy on Google's part. Now, a different option they have is to just abandon Motorola's production completely and try to use the patents to leech royalties. Now, I mentioned this before slightly, or momentarily, but it's probably not going to happen when you consider that they spent $12 billion on this investment, and to just try to get money for the patents probably isn't going to be what they're going for in terms of sound financial decision. So we could probably rule that out. So let's assume they're going to carry on as before. Now, the question is owning Motorola beneficial to them in the long run, or would it have been better for them to exist independently and simply license their software to them? Now, here's essentially how it could be bad for Google. They start framing their software too much to Motorola, and they start pushing other licensees away. Now, think about it this way. If you're HTC and Google's making Android, big deal. You're happy to work with them, but now all of a sudden, Google starts becoming your competition in the hardware business. Now you have an incentive to stop using their software. Now, this kind of scenario could bring an opening for a new operating system and actually end up hurting Google. So the question is, were the patents actually worth it for Google to purchase Motorola? And the answer? Well, we really don't know at this point, and it's going to be interesting to follow the issue and see how this turns out as time goes on. But thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great week.